David here with Figboot on Pens, back again with another fountain pen review. Today I have for you a brand new pen from Conklin, which is an exclusive offering from the retailer Trufe. And that pen is the Conklin Duraflex Nightfall. What I'm going to do today is go over the parts and features of the Duraflex Nightfall, talk about what I care for and what I don't care for, show some measurements, size comparisons, and provide a writing sample. Thanks go out to Trufe for providing this pen for review. If you're not familiar with Trufe, the company is based out of Greenville, South Carolina, and was founded by the husband and wife team of Chris and Kylie Henline. The name Trufe actually derives its name from the Greek word for luxury. They began their online business focusing on higher-end fountain pens and watches, but have since began to gear their company towards pens of all price ranges. They also offer a monthly subscription service, which I have reviewed previously. I'll put a link to the review in the notes below if you'd care to check that out. On a quick side note, Trufe recently opened a brick-and-mortar store and showroom in Greenville, South Carolina. On December 14th, they will be hosting an in-store Visconti event, and I will be joining the festivities as well. Coles of London, the US distributor for Visconti, will be there with lots of different Viscontis to play with. They have a brand new bamboo model that uses some of the layered acrylic found in the Wall Street pens that I'm really looking forward to checking out. I have a few somewhat rare Visconti pens in my collection as well that I might just bring along to share with folks. Check out Trufe's site and social media for hours and additional details about the event, but it's something I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to checking out the new retail space, and the folks from Coles of London are great and fun to hang out with as well. It should be a good time. Okay, let's take a look at a pen. It arrives in this standard Conklin box, and inside we have the pen. This is the Conklin Duraflex Nightfall. This is a limited edition of 1,898 pieces exclusive to Trufe. The name of this pen can be slightly confusing. In regard to this pen model and in other places it's offered, typically it's called the Durograph, and the models which are equipped with the Omniflex nibs are called the Duraflex. This pen here is called the Duraflex no matter which nib it is installed with. The pen has a purple resin base with swirls of black and gray, which have a nice pearlescent undertone, and the trim is chrome plated. Let's start by taking a look at the end of the cap. The top of the cap is flat with slightly rounded edges and is engraved with the Conklin name in 1898, the year the original Conklin company was founded. This transitions into a rounded chrome-plated band and then the clip. The clip is functional and can easily be used with thinner shirt pockets or pockets with thicker material like those found on jeans. The cap is straight, and then we have a rounded cap band. On the front of the band it is engraved with Conklin and filled in black, and on the other side it says Durograph and is surrounded by opposite-facing half moons. There is a rounded step down to the barrel, which isn't perfectly straight. It comes up about ½ millimeter here in the middle and then tapers back down. On the barrel, it is engraved with Duraflex, limited edition, and the number of this specific pen. The barrel then has another rounded ring, and it tapers down to a flat conclusion. The cap unscrews to reveal this two-tone number 6 Jowo stainless steel nib. The nib is stamped with the Conklin name as well as Toledo, USA. This is actually paying tribute to the origins of the Conklin brand. These pens are no longer manufactured in the US, they are produced out of Asia. This nib is available in extra fine, fine, medium, broad. There's a 1.1 stub and then Conklin's Omniflex nib. And here's a look at the plastic feed. In my past experiences, Conklin nibs have been a bit hit or miss. I've had some which have performed adequately, and others like the Omniflex, which I have given a couple of chances to, but I've yet to have one perform up to any type of minimal expectations. I think that's a nice way of saying that the Omniflex nib is one that I wouldn't necessarily recommend. That being said, the medium nib on this pen here is very nice. It is steel, it's a bit on the firm side, but I haven't had any issues with it in regard to performance. No hard starts, no ink starvation, and it's performed well for me. The section begins with a subtle flare, then angles up until it reaches the resin cap threads. This isn't the longest section, so I do find my grip tends to rest on the threads, but it's good that I don't find them sharp or uncomfortable. This pen is plenty long enough for me to use unposted, but the cap does post, and while it does post securely, it doesn't post very deeply, so I find it adds a bit of unwarranted length to the pen. The cap is light, so it doesn't backweight the pen or throw off the balance. I just find the additional length to be a bit unwieldy, so I prefer to use this pen unposted. This is a cartridge converter pen. It accepts standard international cartridges, and a converter as well as 2 international short cartridges are provided. On the TrueFace site, this pen retails for $60, which is comparable to the pricing you'll see across the majority of retailers for Conklin's limited edition offerings. You will find that their standard models are in the $45 to $55 range, and their limited edition models, like this pen here, are in the $60 range. I feel that that price is fair for what you receive with this pen. I will admit that in the past, I really haven't been that attracted to that many Conklin models. I've purchased a few to try out the brand, but it isn't a brand that in the past had really blown me away. That being said, I do find this model to buck that trend a bit. I find the purple resin to be very attractive. And this pen here, with it, I've had no performance issues whatsoever as well. I consider this pen to be a reasonably priced everyday carry option. A pen that won't break the bank and can take a beating and will write when you need it to write. So overall, I feel it's pretty decent. Thanks again go out to TrueFace for providing this exclusive offering to me for review. If you would care for more details about this pen, you could do so via the link to the TrueFace site in the notes below. So now it is time for some measurements, size comparisons, and a writing sample. Here we go with some size comparisons for the Conklin Duraflex Nightfall. Here it is with a standard Duraflex. Then here it is with a TWSBI Eco. And then here it is with a Pilot Metropolitan. Then in regard to some other pens, here it is with a Diplomat Aero and a Lamy All-Star. And then finally, here it is with a Lamy 2000. Now, I actually just picked up this Lamy 2000. It's my second one. It was because someone on a Black Friday sale was selling these for $99, so it was a decent price. So I picked it up with a double broad nib. And let's see how close you can get, if you can see what the double broad looks like. And so far, it writes very nice. And so I'm enjoying this pen a great deal. And that's what it looks like in regard to the Conklin. In regard to some non-capped comparisons, here it is with the aforementioned Lamy 2000. This is with the TWSBI Eco. And then here it is with the Lamy All-Star. So here we go with the writing sample for the Conklin Duraflex Nightfall. And this is a medium steel nib, and the ink that I'm using today is Lamy Dark Lilac. I thought that might be a good match for this pen. So this is what the dark lilac looks like. It's one of my favorite darker purples, along with something like Cross Violet, which is a little bit more saturated and a little bit lighter, but still something I very much like, as well as Birmingham Pen Company's Andy Warhol Pop Art Purple, which is another one of my favorite purples. All three of these are really great. This is what the Lamy's bottles look like. It's nice because they have a little bit of material here that you could use to wipe off your nib. Even though I have a tendency not to use these, I still think it's a pretty nice feature. So here we go with the rest of the writing sample. As I mentioned in the review, this medium nib has performed very well for me. You can get a little bit of line variation out of here, but I wouldn't want to push it too hard. Overall, this medium nib has a decent amount of ink flow to it as well, and it's one of those things that just writes when you pick it up. In regard to reverse writing, it actually lays down a very nice extra fine line. And in regard to some fast writing, there's no issue whatsoever. So there you have the Conklin Duraflex Nightfall. I think that this is a decent addition to the Truffaut lineup. It's a sharp looking pen and one that performs well. Okay, until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.